Good afternoon again, folks. Welcome to the third front load of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. Just kind of a general announcement thing. If I am not posting on anything that has to do with you at all, in fact, if I am actually replying to a thread that has to deal with neurodiverse and disability rights, or I'm defending an autistic person who's being bullied online, don't come on there and start spouting your pro-AH nonsense. It's called This Conversation Has Nothing to Do with You. Number 2, the last thing you want to do is ask me how AH is ableist. I got this thing called receipts. Okay, this is not a conversation you want to have with me. I'm old, and I'm all out of, I'm just going to say it here, warning, trigger warning, foul language. I'm all the fucks to give. Okay? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. To the disclaimers, folks, in the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much. Pardon me. Now, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also linked in there, the Ozarks' first article in regards to the Agape boarding school / Stone for Help boarding school situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri, for so-called troubled male teens that has impending, folks, over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and it includes the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation. Folks, that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises with full access to the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have a attorney general too busy chasing after and lying about drag queens, trying and failing miserably to defund public libraries, and spout mega talking points instead of doing his job and actually protecting the kids inside the state. And you got a governor that I don't even know what he's doing, but send help, folks. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also in there, the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, folks, please use your headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is advised. All right, trigger warning, folks. You know the drill. We are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience, lies, abuse and torture apologencia, and a whole lot of stupid. So, folks, as always, be prepared for the condescending bunch of word salad stupid we are about to endure, okay? Alright, where we left off last vid. For 16 years, nearly half her life, Jamie has been hooked up to Israel's device. A couple of years ago, when the shocks began to lose their effect, the staff switched to the devices inside her backpack to a much more painful GED, which has been remarked upon by other survivors, including Jennifer Masamba. They don't like that pesky thing called facts getting out there. Nor do they like you knowing about the New York report. Something to where they can't just say it's just disgruntled kids. Gotta love it, right? Direct care staff members have no authority to make such a change in a student's treatment. Okay, doctor, where in all of this did they state at any point that it was the direct care staff who made this decision? Because in this little paragraph here, nowhere at all does it say that it was the direct care staff. They said staff. You want to know who else is staff, doctor? Your doctoral level clinicians. Did they say direct care staff? No, they did not. Since you decided to mince words, let's beat you at your own game. Nowhere in that sentence is it explicitly stated that they are saying that the direct care staff were the ones who made this decision. Okay? We clear? We good? Good. Only the doctoral level clinician can do this, and even then, only if the procedure is included in a court-authorized treatment plan for that individual student. Now tell me, doctor. Tell me. Are these doctoral level clinicians employed by the JRC, or are they not? Because if they are employed by the JRC, do you know what that makes them? Staff. And by the way, this whole court authorized, again, doctor, these individuals did not go to med school. They went to law school. Which means these are no people. They're not qualified to be making these types of decisions. Okay? But it was recommended. Please stop. Okay? You manipulate those courts. We all know you do it. You roll those kids in looking like they're Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. These kids are only allowed state prosecutors, usually young, just out of freaking law school, who kind of don't know. Well, you know the saying, don't you? That's not adequate representation, doctor. No, I'm not sorry. The material is quoted from an article written by Jennifer Gonnerman, and is only one of several false or misleading accusations that are derived from that article. Oh, please, here we go again. None of the material we have written, Doctor, has in any way, shape, or form been misleading or lying. I can state that with my full chest because there is an entire massive archive that I link in every single video. That archive is a massive, ever-growing amount of receipts. It's not false when we have the receipts, Doctor. It's not misleading when we have the receipts. Okay? How are second and third degree burns supposed to be misleading? How is it misleading when we have in our own documents from doctors that you are ordered to remove students off the device when they are so bruised and have so many different burns and abrasions that there is not a single piece of skin that is not damaged? And you are forced to keep them off that device so they can heal up. That's not misleading. That's not false information. That is medical documents. We link in our articles our receipts. We're not just making up lies to attack the JRC. First of all, what in the name of God makes you think we have the time? Unlike you, Doctor, we don't get millions of dollars off of the pain and suffering of others. We have real jobs. Okay? Please. The Gonerman article was originally planned for the submission to the New York Times Sunday magazine, which sent photographers all the way from the West Coast to JRC to do the associated photographs. However, when the Times editors read the article, they rejected it because it was too obviously one-sided, sensationalized hatchet job on JRC. Here we go again. See, folks, this is why I don't trust the press. I know for a fact that the JRC buys off things like the Times. They have, in fact, praised parents for fighting for the right to continue to allow their kids to be tortured in this school. You have to excuse me if I'm not just lining up to believe their bull. Mother Jones magazine then purchased the article and published it. All of the false or misleading accusations that appeared in the Jennifer Gonerman article have fully been responded to or are available on JRC's website. You mean more word salad like this? Because spare me, Doctor. For the love of God, spare me. Because that's all your responses are. They're logical fallacy, condescending, high-handed, arrogance, stupidity, and inhumane cruelty. Okay? And I can prove that because we got receipts. And if you don't believe me, check the description box. Pull up that archive. Prove me wrong, Doctor. Any of you JRC sycophants or parents hanger-ons who drank the Kool-Aid, actually go through that archive. Come on. Right. As to Jamie, she has been a success story. Her life and health have been saved by the JRC. Oh my God. See, Doctor, just because you teach an individual to mask and put on a happy face and pretend to be normal so you'll stop torturing them, That's not a success. Do you know how many individuals mask being normal every day? Do you know how mentally exhausted we are? Do you even want to comprehend our mental health issues? Or how about the physical issues? Because doing that sort of thing, when it damages you psychologically, also, given time and without treatment, begins to affect you physically. And I can speak to that because it's happened to me. In fact, doctor, it continues to happen to me. This is what happens when you teach people to mask, never address their issues, never allow themselves to feel. When you tell people fundamentally who we are, how we are born is wrong, and that will never be right. And thus, we pretend to be someone else, because only when we pretend to be someone else are we then worthy of love and respect and community. Because that's not success, doctor. Not at all. You want to know what success looks like? That is an individual that instead of being beaten down and forced to pretend to be someone else, they are up in a healthy environment where logical decisions concerning healthcare and mental health care are taken, where reasonable accommodations, healthy coping mechanisms are used, when people are punished for stimming, when people agree that common sense things, such as if there's sensory issues that are causing the meltdown, change what's causing the sensory issue. Want to know what happens to those individuals, doctor? Let's just say they are a lot more mentally and physically healthy than some of the autistics of my generation who were forced to do the exact opposite. And because of that, even as we've grown out of it a bit, the lingering mental health issues we are going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives are always going to be there. We're going to close on that note, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Goodbye, everyone.